by forever complex, scientific, schizophrenic, word vomitist. Organic chemistry is the chemistry of carbon compounds. Biochemistry is the study of carbon compounds that crawl. I never think about the future, it comes soon enough. We were flying over America and suddenly I saw snow, the first snow we ever saw from orbit. I have never visited America, but I imagine that the arrival of autumn and winter is the same there as in other places, and the process of getting ready for them is the same. And then it struck me that we are all children of our earth. But the purpose of life is the investigation of the sun, the moon, and the heavens, the source from which existing things derive their existence. It is also that to which they return at their destruction. Give me a firm place to stand, and I will move the earth before another century is done. It will be hard for people to imagine a time when humanity was confined to one world, and it will seem to them incredible that there was ever anybody who doubted the value of space and wanted to turn his or her back on the universe. The universe is a pretty thing, a real pretty thing. What we have learned is like a handful of earth. What we have yet to learn is like the whole world. No. I would live to study and not study to live. Science is but an image of the earth. Every answer given arouses new questions. The progress of science is matched by an increase in the hidden and mysterious. The quick harvest of applied sciences, the usable process, the medicine, the machine, the shy fruit of pure science's understanding. Frequently on the lunar surface, I said to myself that this is the moon, that this is the earth. I'm really here. I'm really here. In space, everything is different. You sleep on the ceiling, wrapping, never ending. We flew throughout the summer and fall and the start of winter. At first, the whiteness gave way to the green of summer, and then gold covered the fields and forest, and then the whiteness again. Mathematics is the codified body of all logical thought. To see a world in a grain of sand, in a heaven in a wild flower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in an hour. What is now proved was once only imagined. In some sense, man is a microcosm of the universe. Therefore, what man is a clue to the universe. We are enfolded in the universe. A great truth is a truth whose opposite is also a great truth. And how wonderful that we have met with a paradox. Now we have some hope of making progress. Impossible is not a scientific term. When I had satisfied myself that no star of that kind had ever been shown before, I had led into such perplexity by the unbelievability of the thing that I began to doubt the faith of my own eyes. Progress in science depends on new techniques, new discoveries, and new ideas, probably in that order. The crux is that the vast majority of the mass of the universe seems to be missing. That is the essence of science, asking an pertinent question, and you are on the way to pertinent and to the pertinent answer. Life is the art of drawing sufficient conclusions from insufficient premises. I don't pretend to understand the universe. It's a great deal bigger than I am. Why did not somebody teach me the constellations and make me at home in the starry heavens, which are always overhead, and which I don't have do not have no to this day. I don't pretend to understand the universe. It's a great deal bigger than I am. I'm rapping away again, till I'll pop my head. The aim of science is to discover and illuminate truth, and that I take it is the aim of literature, where biology or history or fiction. It seems to me then that there can be no separate literature of science. We hope someday, having solved the problems we face, to join a community of galactic civilizations. The only way of discovering the limits of the possible is to venture a little way past them into the impossible. The way of progress is neither swift nor easy. Be less curious about people or more curious about ideas. To someone who could grasp the universe from a unified standpoint, the entire creation would appear as a unique truth and necessity. That star is not on the chart. Science is the meaning place of two kinds of poetry, the poetry of thought and the poetry of action. Nothing before had ever made me thoroughly realize those I had read various scientific books that science consists in grouping facts to that general law of conclusion may be drawn from them. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, not the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. No human investigation can be called real science if it and it cannot be demonstrated mathematically. Moving in space, the atoms originally were individual units, but inevitable they began to collide with each other, and in cases where their shapes were such as to permit them to interlock, they began to form clusters: water, air, fire, and earth. These are simply different clusters of changeless atoms. It is not enough to have a good mind. The main thing is to use it well. Every great advance in science has issued from a new audacity of imagination. Come algebra, anatomy, astronomy, biology, chemistry, geology, geometry, mathematics, meteorology, mineralogy, oceanography, paleontology, physics, psychology, sociology, trigonometry, and zoology. In space, you can hang your clothes anywhere. For us physicists, the distinction between past, present, and future is only an illusion. Things should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Pure logical thinking cannot yield us any knowledge of the empirical world. All knowledge of reality starts from experience and ends in it. And what science strives for is an utmost acuteness and clarity of concepts as regards their mutual relation and their correspondence to sensory data. One thing I have learned in a long life that all our science measured against reality is primitive and childlike. Why? I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious. The end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started. A day is a miniature eternity. Science does not know its debt to imagination. If we could speed up our sense of time until thousands of years we're speeding by in the wink of an eye, we can see nebula burst into light, deliver themselves of a shower of stars, then fade back into the darkness. As it is, we see each nebula frozen at a stage in the process. Nature uses only the longest threads to weave her patterns, so each small piece of her fabric reveals the organization of the entire tapestry of the present situation in physics. As if we know chess, but we don't know one or two of the rules. The best thing we're put here for to see, the strongest thing that's given us to see with a telescope. Someone in every town seems to me owes it to the town to keep one. The sun, with all the planets revolving around and dependent on it, can still ripen a bunch of grapes as though it had nothing else in the universe to do. What? No. Bye forever. Complex, scientific, schizophrenic word vomitist.